orange was first used to describe the fruit and not the color. Now I wonder about other words for other colors and where they came from, like, burgundy, periwinkle. Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome to Analyzing Abstracts, a show where me and my friends converse. Yes, here I am. I'm Luke, your host. Today I have a guest, as always. This guest recently, just like a little bit earlier, shot a video of him cooking sausages in 2 minutes. Yes, we have Willow Turingan.
The Sausage Master. What's up? What's up?
So Willow, how's your day?
It's been good. Worked,
Sausage.
worked, did a lot of scripts, and then shot a video about making a sausage in 2 minutes. And
What sausage did you use?
cal, what's that called? Calbisa,
Is it
cal.
was it frozen before cooking?
No, I defrosted it already.
Pre-cooked?
No,
Because you can't cook anything in 2 minutes. That's the thing.
kilbasa. There you go. Kilbasa sausage.
Kilbasa. Okay.
Yes, kielbasa. It didn't work.
It's
But it was a
probably still
funny.
raw, no? In the middle.
It's a funny video, so I'll post
No,
it.
sige, I'll wait.
So
We'll talk about where people can watch you later. But today,
all right.
our topic is board gaming one, because if anyone listening knows about us too, it's that we talk. Okay, so what makes one use a game or a board game to introduce someone to the board gaming, what do you call it? Just to board gaming in general. Yeah.
The hobby
The
itself.
hobby, yes, the hobby. Okay, so that's the question. So it's not about what's like a gateway game, because if you don't know, gateway game means these are the games that people use to like introduce new players, ganon. But I'm talking more about what makes you consider a game to be used as something to introduce someone new. Because there are some games that I have used that people would not even consider like a gateway game, but I have introduced it to someone who doesn't know about board gaming and they still got into it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want to talk about here. And I know you have probably experienced many, 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 many people
A
introducing
lot
them. Mm-mm.
to board gaming. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I played a lot of board games, and I collect also, and I play mostly with new gamers, not because I don't want to get beaten, but I want to share the hobby with
Mayabang.
a lot of people. Hindi. Well, that's interesting question. But I guess one of the most important things I consider when get trying to get someone into a board game is there's several things. But number one would be I think theme.
Oh, thing. That's actually that's I was gonna say then. It's like one of the things is theme talaga. Cause
Mhm.
if it's not engaging, it won't look engaging to someone new.
Yeah. So like if you have a artist friend, if you have something about paintings or something creative, they would definitely be interested in that, even if yung mechanics is a little bit harder. If someone is
Yeah.
mahilig sa horror or sa investigation, if you just tell them that this is an investigation game that you'll be playing like a CSI, NCIS thing, I'm pretty sure they'll learn more than their suspected capacity in learning pag sa board games. Is that a term?
Yeah. I think one of the I think I introduced Eldritch Horror once to my friends, and I don't remember if they've played games before that, but I remember bringing it to school. Yes, sa college, because we have like three hour breaks eh. So we
Uh,
didn't have anything to do. I was like, guys, dala ako board game. So I brought one, and then I brought Eldritch Horror, and then we played it. We actually finished. I don't know if we won. I don't remember. I think
Probably
we
not.
did. No, I think we did because we finished it eh.
Ah,
Like
okay, okay.
usually if you don't end by if you end it before 2 hours, that means you did well, right? Anyway, digress. That's like a big game, diba? But what
Mm-hmm.
I did was I introduced it as like an RPG or like a point and click adventure that,
Yeah.
oh, so we're just gonna go around and then we're trying to close some gates. How to close a gate, we'll find out. We don't know
Yeah.
how. We'll just see what the card says. So it's like that. I keep telling them, oh, the cards will tell us what to do. Oh, this is what. If there's a specific rule, I'll tell you what happens so
Yeah.
that you won't feel ano. But looking back, I don't think it's their first game, so it probably helped na they knew some bit. I
Mhm.
think we played Pandemic
Before
before
that.
that, but I think they're like the I think they got more engaged to it because of the theme, like the idea
Yeah.
of the adventure, ganon.
Yeah. Because if the theme makes sense, the mechanics of the game would be easier to learn or to
To
study.
explain.
Yeah. So the strategy, you'll also be applying it to the strategies that you know dependent dun sa theme. So let's say kunyari if
Yeah,
it's
because
a
everything will make
investigation game,
sense.
yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's one of the main things that you should consider when I think you should consider when you introduce a board game to a non-gamer. It just gets them a little bit more hyped in playing board games instead of just giving them something very abstract or um,
Mm-mm.
nonsensical to them. Parang ganun. Yeah.
Uh. Azul. Okay, so next.
Surrender. Hindi, joke lang.
No. Mine is more correct. Another thing that I thought of is I think that game has to be easy to teach, but also like easy to understand. As you said, easy to understand how the mechanics flow to one another. My uh my comparison for this is explaining Ticket to Ride to a new gamer versus explaining Catan,
Yeah.
because they're both considered gateway games, but if you explain Ticket to Ride, it's just like, okay, here's the three things you can do, and then you just get the most points. But in
Yeah.
Catan, you have to explain, okay, it's first to 10, and then after that, you have to explain what the dice happens, and then you have to explain that there's no limits on what you can do during your turn, and they
Yeah.
have to get their head around it. So it's, and out at the same time, their rule books, if you look, Ticket to Ride is like 4 pages, Catan is like 12.
Yeah. I
So
think it's the simplicity of the things that you can do to the complexity of the strategies that you can do.
uh,
The rate
and at the same time, I think Catan is more, I don't want to say sandbox, but it's more towards that route, that
free form,
the
yeah.
fact that you, yeah, that more free form, that's why it has more rules.
Yep.
Even though it's easy, like of course now that we know how to play it, and everyone who I've taught it to, they're like, oh, Catan easy. But before that, learning the game, they were like, huh, and then what, what,
Why is there a rubber?
why is there why didn't I get anything? Because the robber's there. Why is the robber there? Mga ganon.
Why is the number 7 a rubber? The things you can't explain.
I explained that. I can explain why number 7 is the robber.
Why is the rubber number 7?
Because it's the most rolled number between two dice.
Okay, now thematically explain it.
Thematically, because he usually comes by around depending
7
on how
p.m.
um what's the permutation. Anyway, uh, but they're like, I can attest to using Ticket to Ride to getting many people into gaming. I brought it again to school once. I brought so many games. Uh, I remember uh, another 3 hour break. I brought Ticket to Ride. I think this is the first game they tried other than Pandemic, and then they got it so easily because it's just easy to understand. Ganon. Do you have another example of like a game that's easy to teach, but easy also to understand how everything flows?
Well, point salad is the best example, I think.
I was waiting for you to say like something easy then. But then I think, yeah, I think it's reached the point na Point Salad could be considered like an introductory game.
Yeah, it's they won't get the pun of why it's called point salad,
Of
pero
course.
just just you explaining to them that you're just gonna get the card, either two of these or one of these. These are gonna make you points. The other ones will make the points. Parang ganun.
Yeah.
Yun lang. It's very,
You take turns. Ganun lang.
yeah, just turns, tapos they'll get it immediately or in the middle of the game, and then they'll want to play again, which makes it even easier for you. Na throughout the games, they're developing a different strategy or they have tactics that they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Na you just taught them a 30-second rule book, tapos you'll be surprised how complex the game gets. Something like that.
Yeah. I remember first playing it and was very surprised at how complicated it could get. Like
Yes.
not just the what do you call that? Um like they call the term when you're trying to guess the probability more than the probability aspect of it, of like, okay, there's like four carrots on the middle and someone else has so many carrots. Do I grab the carrot so that he doesn't have so much carrots, or do I just grab something else that could help me and hope that he doesn't get carrots? Yung mga ganong
Yeah.
pag-iisip.
It's not the complexity of the game itself, of the mechanics of how
Yeah.
doing it. It's the complexity of winning the game. Parang
Yeah.
i-
How much you
iba
want to
yung,
put thought.
yeah. So yeah, point salad. I think it's the best example right now for easy to teach but high complexity strategy tactics
Yeah.
at the end. Yeah.
I also thought, because sometimes I noticed that the people where I teach, like like games like Point Salad or like Sushi Go or like Ticket to Ride, I usually teach them to people that I know would like the idea of like puzzles or like
Yeah.
strategy. But now I'm thinking of the friends that weren't like that, but I still got them into gaming. And then I realized the like connection is that I taught them like a social game first, and then I thought, what would be a good social game to introduce now, because usually it's resistance, but I think where words and just one is becoming like a better social game than
Mm.
resistance.
Yeah. If there is someone who doesn't want to play, you may mga KJ tayong friends minsan, pero they're part of the group. Just one is the best for that
I
to do.
think, yeah, just one, yeah,
Yeah,
because
kasi siya lang naman, sasabi lang naman siya ng one word.
yeah,
Pag ayaw niya na, masyado na siyang KJ.
yeah. But then I think we became gamers during a time when like Resistance Avalon was the hottest like social game. But now we have Just One and Werewords, where I think Werewords is better to play than Resistance because it's faster.
Yep.
And then to us Filipinos, it's easier to understand because you just say, "Oh, it's Pinoy
Pinoy,
hen,"
yeah.
but one of you knows the word and doesn't want everyone else to get it, just
Yeah.
like that.
Because honestly, I've had trouble teaching Avalon and Resistance.
Yes, same.
Eh, nung mga first, yung super restricted pa tayo dun sa mga games that we're playing. It's actually hard to explain without doing
Yeah,
background.
surprising, no?
Yeah.
Like looking
Parang,
back, how did I teach that?
parang every time I explain it, guys, you just get the stone, tapos you get the like that. Tapos parang sila, at the end of me teaching and that I've practiced that spiel a lot, parang sila parang, what? Why is there a stone? Why do I have to vote 2 times? Why am I not part of the game anymore? Parang, just play, please. Tapos, syempre sila parang ayaw na maglaro. So, parang hirap to get them to play Avalon. But once they play it, like they get it and they play it, parang, hindi mo naman sinabi na ganito lang. Parang,
Well, it's your fault.
sinabi ko lahat.
But Willow, no one has said that to me.
Well, it's probably my fault then. It's not that I don't really enjoy Avalon that much din naman kasi.
Oh,
But
yan, the truth came out.
there you go. I'd
But
rather play
honestly, you'd rather play what?
2 rooms and a boom.
Oh yeah, that's better. But I think now Werewords is now replacing should actually it's not replacing, but it should replace Avalon in my opinion because it
Well,
did
it's either Werewords or ano, One Night Ultimate
one night.
Werewolf.
But I
Yeah.
think one night because it's too crazy. It's too unpredictable.
Yeah, that there's
That's the
that. So,
problem eh. Na
but
where words is more predictable because you're either gonna guess the word or not. And then whether you guess the word or not, find who the werewolf is or find the seer. It's more
mhm,
easy to game it. Kasi in one night, you could probably get a bad game because the troublemaker mixed two cards and everything's wrong now and now you lose because you
one
said that
remembers
you were
they
something and then
forgot to
blah blah
change
blah.
everything, and then they're not even lying, they're telling the truth, but it's their version of the truth that you don't get anymore.
Uh,
So I was
apparently
like,
you thought you were telling the truth, but apparently you were the werewolf. That's the problem that I find with One Night eh. Na
yeah,
if you bring it, it's too silly. Yun. Like if you bring it to a first time gamer, they might find it too silly.
yeah, yeah,
It's
that's
like
true.
it's like
I've
it's like
thought,
bringing a dexterity game to someone who doesn't know board games, and then now their thought of board games is something silly.
mm, that's right. I've thought Werewords with a pack of cards. I didn't even have the game anymore. Pero I went to a retreat, played the game with a pack of cards and the app, and everyone enjoyed it. Kahit first time nila yun to play. It
Werewolves.
Yeah, it's a really good. I would suggest playing Werewords over Avalon now.
You heard it here from two crazy people.
Yeah, if you're crazy like us, then play Werewords. Dun, kasi dun ka lang rin makakatanong ng mga weird na parang
Yeah.
some
Wait,
weird
how did
question.
how did you play it? How did you play it without the tokens? Did you count how many tokens there were?
No. So it wasn't a serious like board game
Ah,
night
okay,
or
I
anything.
get
We
I
just
get that,
wanted to
man.
play. So what I did was I had spotted cards, and
That's what you used as check or X?
yes, yeah, it was either flip up or
Makes
flip
sense.
down.
Yeah,
Tapos pag
yeah, it's
naubos
okay.
na, whatever.
Yeah,
But
because
everyone had
that's part
fun.
of the game. Eh. If you run out of questions, you that's part of the
Yeah, and it
fail
was
safe.
funnier with more questions kasi syempre parang 8 or 10 people kaya tapos sila parang tanong lang ng tanong ng useless questions.
Yeah,
You as the mayor, you have to keep flipping ganun.
uh,
So eventually kahit 100 yung tokens mo, maubos din siya.
yeah,
Lalo with noisy or a fun group like I had.
yeah. Well, that just proves our point,
Yeah.
no? Na where words.
Yeah.
If you have, if you're like thinking, oh, how do I get my friends into board gaming? Should I bring out Avalon? And then here's us telling you, no,
No.
bring out werewolves. Yeah, stop. Bring
Stop it.
bring out the werewolves.
Yep.
Or just one. Again, going back just one. But I think the problem lang with just one, and this is like a very minor problem, is that it doesn't scale well because if you get too many people, like I had a game where like 11 people were giving words and it's so hard. The game got so hard because
Mm.
there's too many words na. You would think the more words makes it more specific, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Baka mas nanggugulo pa yung ibang words.
'Diba? Yeah, that's why I think it doesn't scale to a larger group, which that's why you have to have
Yeah.
werewolves.
So yeah, I think another thing that you should think about when choosing a board game to teach to newer players is very small lang na to, pero you have to think about the time that they have. It's the time that you guys can play or the time that they can listen.
Yes.
Because I've tried before teaching like pandemic. I knew how to teach it, pero we were in a board game cafe, and syempre, me being a newbie and teaching board games, I took like 45 minutes, 30 minutes to like teach the
And you're
game.
setting it up while you're teaching the game.
Yeah, and ako lang yung may alam ng game. So, when I was doing that, parang tapos na kumain lahat and everything, pero hindi pa kami nakakalaro, and parang, never mind. Let's just play Jenga. Yeah. At saka, syempre, when you think about it, if you're playing a game night for like 8 o'clock, you guys have to decide if you're gonna play one big game or several small
Yeah.
games, or if you want kids to join, your spouses, your girlfriends, or anyone who wants. Madaming consider. Pero yung time talaga
Yeah.
kasi for everyone to be bunched up together, socialize, and follow the rules of the game is important, very important, lalo na sa first game.
Yeah.
Kasi if it's the first game that they're playing and and nagpe-preach ka, nagdadada ka lang the whole time, it won't be an enjoyable experience, and they think na all games are like that.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for
It's
bringing up that point. I want to segue to that point. Na people think that board games kasi are like full of rules, and that's why I said it should be easy to teach. Because
Mhm.
if you make them see a game that's full of rules, they might probably be turned off already.
Yep,
Like you ease
that's
them
true.
in, you just ease them in with like ano. But that depends pa rin. Uh I have an aunt that she likes puzzles. She likes doing like mga escape room things. And then
Mhm.
we were at a family gathering, and I forgot what other games I brought, but I brought out Carpe Diem, and then my other titos and titas kasi no board games na because of like Ticket to Ride ganon. And then I brought, oh
Mhm.
here, let's play Carpe Diem. And then my other tita, the the one that we haven't introduced yet to board gaming, she was curious because she likes puzzles ganon. And then I taught Carpe Diem, and she really enjoyed it. She got second place only because the person before her kept taking the tiles that she needed, and that hindered her. Lagi ngang like, ano ba? Bakit yung pinipili mo? Like every turn, that's what happens to her. But then she got it. She
Yeah.
got all the rules in Carpe Diem, and not saying then that Carpe Diem is a hard game. It's kind of a middling kind of, not really medium level, but more of a gateway plus, or like higher than easy but not too hard kind of game. But she still
Not
got all the rules.
Yeah,
She understood all of it. So it still depends on the person, no?
yeah. It depends on the person. I've like like I said in another podcast before, I taught my friends who wanted to play board games, I taught them Splendor, and then after Splendor, I taught them Scythe. Medyo malaking
Jump.
complexity jump yun, but it was in their mind because we used to play Age of Empires before.
That makes
So
sense.
medyo medyo nandun na sila na they
Yeah.
wanted
Yeah, in the
something
mindset.
heavier. Yeah. So it still depends on your friends. But if you have a group of friends na, let's say, three of them want to play heavy board games, and then there's one who doesn't want to play, don't force the one person to play a heavy board game. You lalo na pag first timer
Well,
siya,
first of all, why
just
is that friend
ease.
there?
Well, there are friends who know that you love board games but they don't want to play with you, or they don't want to learn with you. So of
Oh,
course,
what kind of
me
hugot is that,
when
Willow?
there's no, hindi naman. When there's a chance for that person,
Yeah.
'di ba? I want to try. Sige, I'll try. Syempre, just ease
Yeah,
them
ease
in,
them in.
you
Ease them
know.
in.
That's the best way. Pero don't underestimate your friends also. Sometimes
That's the big thing,
mas
I think.
matalino pa sila sa
Like, don't that's I think I see so many people teach games in a more patronizing way, which I don't like, because that's not how I teach din eh. I teach the games in a more like inclusive way, na parang
Yeah.
you'll understand what this means. I won't tell you, but you will understand what this means. I go like
Yeah.
that. Or like for and here's a tip: if they keep asking questions, just keep saying you'll understand later. Don't say anything else. Just say you'll understand later. That's
Yeah.
what I learned. Eh.
Yeah, board games is parang it's still a game. So the more times you play it, the more times you experience it, the
You
more
find more stuff.
things you're gonna learn, strategies to do, tactics to move. You can't teach everything in the first game, lalo na
Yeah.
strategies. That's you can give them tips, but we all have different perspectives and minds. So even if feeling mo this is the best way to win, sometimes the person who doesn't play board games
Won't get that.
must mas may magigets pa siya na
Yeah.
strategy kasi sa'yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the real tip that I want to give to people. If they keep asking questions, just keep saying, "You'll understand later." They'll shut up eventually. Uh, it's true.
Tell them, shut up, you'll understand
That's what
later.
I
They'll
don't
shut
say that.
up.
I just say you'll understand later, and then they shut up. They get what it means.
Shut up. Kaya pala sinashut up mo ako na naglalaro tayo ng
Which
joke.
one? There's like a lot of times.
No.
Uh,
Ako, hindi na ako nagtatanong sa iyo kasi
Oh.
alam ko na yung sasabihan. Ang ano naman ni Willo, hindi na mag-gets mo ba yan?
I know,
Kaya pag sa G-Live, hindi niyo ba napansin pag sa G-Live, hindi na ako
Yeah, that's
nagsasalita.
right. You shouldn't talk. Glory shuts up na rin eh. But have you ever like experienced what I experienced? Like I thought like a more gateway plus kind of game, because you said you still taught them Splendor eh. Have you taught anyone like an
Yeah.
immediately hard game?
Straight up hard game?
Yeah, like kind like Carpe Diem
Um,
levels of hard lang.
Well, yeah. I would consider Marvel Legendary if you're really new. Marvel
that's a complex game nga.
Legendary is I've thought kasi mahilig sa Marvel. So of course, it was the best one. 2015
They
nata.
got it
It was
naman.
the best one then. So oh yeah. Yeah. It's something that hindi lang na kahit ano ko naman hindi ko naman magets why we're all Captain America, why we're all Spider-Man. But the game wise
That's why
they
I
got
like
it. Yeah.
Alien better because it's more thematic. Eh.
Yeah.
I will never give
And,
I will
Marvel.
never give away my legendary alien because it's really fun. Eh. Anyway, I think I have a. Do you think Okay, I'll do a really specific one. Do you think Splendor is a good game to introduce to new people?
Mm,
Objectively, not subjectively.
as much as I don't want to play Splendor anymore, I would say yes. It's a really good
What if I
gateway.
bring up that you can teach them instead Gingerbread House?
I would for me, I would teach them Gingerbread House kasi I'd rather play Gingerbread House than Splendor.
Diba?
Yeah.
No, my
Yes.
point is lang here. I bought Gingerbread House. When was it? Was it like
Last year,
like mga August,
November.
Yeah, and then
The
I got
Burmat.
some new people into board gaming because of Gingerbread House, and I was like, huh. I never saw it that way, but now because I will admit I never got Splendor because I always thought that it's probably too dry to bring to new people.
Yeah.
That's why when I saw Gingerbread House work in a better way, I was like, now I have something over Splendor. Not saying Splendor's a bad game, maybe getting old, but Gingerbread House I think is better because one, the theme is better. Two, I think it's easier than to wrap their heads around the idea.
Yeah. I would argue that it's easier to Gingerbread House is easier to understand than Splendor.
Yeah, diba?
Yeah. I liked Splendor before, but after like 50 plus plays or 100 plays, you'd get everything and you'd know if who's gonna win. Mga 2 turns.
Ako nga, by like the third game, I was like, again. That's why it's one of the more famous games that I never got because I never. It's not that I didn't like it. It's just it didn't got me to keep it.
Yeah, I didn't. I bought it once. It was like dirt cheap from someone, and I only got it because someone wanted to play in the family. And syempre me, being the board game collector, of course I'm gonna get it if a family member is gonna play it, diba? But yeah, Gingerbread House, just like yung placement and tiles, what you're gonna get after that, why you're getting these cookies, it just makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, even it's not the same gameplay as Splendor, but it has the same feel kasi.
Yeah. And Splendor kasi once when you look at it parang I don't know, solitaire. Alam mo
The
yun,
way it
yung
looks.
patong-patong. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So
good.
that's why recommend Gingerbread House over Splendor. We're controversial people here. Okay,
Yeah.
now another game that's famously used like as a gateway game is Catan, but I would argue there are more better introductory games that have the same feel as Catan. Do you have one
Mm.
before I say mine? Maybe it's the same, eh?
I think I know what you're gonna
What
say.
is it?
Chinatown.
Yes,
I know you so
but
well.
but it's true kasi they're both
Uh, yeah.
the main idea of Catan is the trading. Like more than the rolling dice, more than the building, it's more about the trading, eh?
Mm-hmm. It is. It's Catan is one of those really good combo mechanic games. Na you can't really say that it's just a trading game, that it's just a building game, that it's just a dice rolling luck game.
But
It,
never has anyone won in a game in Catan without at least trading once.
you'd be very lucky if you did, but it's possible.
But that would mean that everybody else is trading without you. So they would have a bigger chance of winning,
But then
right?
if you're playing with new players,
Oh,
hindi. There's a
wow.
chance. There's still a
But
chance to win. I think with proper placement and there's a chance to win with lucky rolls. But yes, it's a trading game.
yeah, but so basically what I mean is Catan has so many levels.
Mm-hmm.
If you simplify it, just give them Chinatown first before playing Catan.
Yeah, it depends on what, I guess, if you're teaching, it depends on what you enjoy more sa Katan. Is it the dice rolling or the trading?
No, but I mean like in terms of introducing someone to gaming, I think I would introduce someone Chinatown first before giving them Catan.
Yeah, yeah. Ako, I enjoy Chinatown, so ganun din yung gagawin ko rin naman. I would give them
'Di
Chinatown.
ba?
Yeah,
No,
and it's a more free form trading. So,
yeah, it's
kaya,
for freeform.
yeah,
It's like you I think here in the Philippines also Chinatown will resonate more because we people like to haggle here, people like to bargain. So
ano,
the
kasi may
idea of yeah, the idea of like Mark of like saying, "Oh, get this one. I'll give you this and this and this and this."
wag
Okay?
na, wag na, wag na, wag
It's a
na.
better deal. It's a better deal, right?
Hindi
Better
na,
deal. Mga ganon.
yeah. Tapos hahanap na lang ng iba.
No,
Maganda
don't
yung
listen to him.
maganda yung
Don't
sa
listen
kanya,
to him.
pero ano
Listen to
yung sa'yo?
me.
Demonyo.
Yeah, mga ganon. Kasi like everyone understands that.
Yeah.
So I think um even though Catan I've taught Catan like a first game to many people, I think it would have been easier if I taught them Chinatown first.
Yeah,
Because I
actually.
think yeah, I think Catan had too many rules nga considering. But here's the thing, I still without saying that I'm not saying Catan's a bad game, but I think Catan will forever be a really good game because weirdly enough it's like 20 almost 20 years old already and it's still fun, no?
Yeah.
And you can rarely say that about
Yeah.
old games, eh.
Again, it's the middle of everything. Kaya it's parang it's a really sturdy game, if you could say it like that.
Yeah, like and you can't like because of the fact that it has so many combinations of mechanics, you it's not like you can't make it
Mm.
better. You get what I mean? Like if you get like a simple game like Carcassonne, so many games have already like
Yes.
copied
And improve.
or I'm doing quotation marks copied the idea of tile placement to the point that um Carcassone's becoming lost. Even though Carcassone's still good, especially with expansions, but it's getting lost. Unlike Catan, that I think is still up there. Even though someone released Machikoro, Catan's still
Yep.
big, right?
Katan. Ako, it's one of the games na if you invite me to play, I would play. Katan, yeah. Splendor hindi na. I would say na, kayo na lang enjoy niyan.
We're, we're just here to hate Splendor.
Hindi naman. It's just over.
Have you tried Catan with Cities and Knights?
No, not yet.
Oh, it becomes better game.
Yeah,
I
pero
remember.
kasi my thing with Catan Cities and Nights and all the other expansions, I'd rather I'd rather play a more complicated game.
Oh, but Cities. I don't like the other expansions as well. Only Cities and Knights. I
Yeah.
remember bring it out to people, and they're like, "Okay, so we're gonna add more." And they're like, "Add more?" And then and then when I show them, they really like. Kasi the thing for me lang, the thing that was missing in Catan was the variability of the development cards, and that's the
Yeah.
big thing that Cities and Knights changes. It it makes development cards into a tech tree, which
Yep.
is better.
I know about it. So I could say naman na it's still I think it's the best expansion nga, like you said.
Yeah, yeah,
Pero yun nga, parang for me, Catan is nandun na siya sa Gateway, but if I want to go Gateway Plus, I wouldn't get Catan with something else. I'd rather teach another game
true.
totally.
Yeah,
That's just me. So,
yeah, that's okay.
I'd rather teach Pandemic Legacy. Joke lang.
What a jump!
Lateral jump.
Do you do you think that cooperative games is a good introductory,
It
or it would
depends.
depend on the game, no?
It still
'Cause-
depends on the people. Ako,
but I think,
for me, it's people.
it's kind of hard because cooperative game relies that everyone knows the game already quite a bit. So you, someone who knows the game, will probably talk more than the people who are new to it. So it
Yeah.
might turn them off.
Yeah, that's the thing with cooperative games. Kaya for me, when I teach newcomers or new board gamers or new gamers, I'd rather teach them a competitive game kasi they're gonna be learning the game for them. When you're
Yeah,
playing a cooperative game, they're gonna be learning the game, pero their mind would be somewhere else, or their mind could be somewhere else kasi what they're thinking is they know naman the game, they're gonna teach me on my turn, or they're gonna tell me what to do on my turn. Do you get
diba?
that? Yeah.
I really agree with that. That's why I try not to teach cooperative games.
Yeah. Kaya for me, I'd rather play a competitive one. Lalo na yung mga friends natin na parang, oh, game, suntukan tayo, ganun. Pero board game.
Yeah. Here's a story. I had a friend na she said she doesn't understand why people buy board games because she sees it like as a waste of money. Wait, I need to remember what she really said. Why she thought it was a waste of money. She said cause it's only gonna tire your brain. Parang ganon. It's like she said, sasakit lang naman ulo mo
wait lang,
playing it. Why would you
wait lang,
why would you pay for something
wait lang,
to
Luke.
I sorry.
Is she still your friend?
Oh, yes, yes. You wait for the end of the story. So sinabi niya, sasakit lang naman ulo ko while playing it. So why would I pay for something to hurt my brain? Parang ganun yung pagkasabi niya. And then the only game I had that time was Small World. So I made her play it. At the end, she's now playing with us many, many board games. Small World, Small
That's
World. That's not an easy game to teach,
yeah. Very complex combination, small world.
But she got it, I told her, oh, naintindihan mo yung Small World? Masakit pa ba sa ulo? Tas she's like, but she explained naman na what she saw kasi was like like Magic the Gathering,
Yeah.
the more complicated ones. She never thought that there would be a game that would be easier,
It's
and I'm like,
simple, yeah.
yeah, simpler.
Mhm.
And I think if I had Ticket to Ride, I think it would have been better. My point is like that's her first game, Small World,
Mhm.
and her going in was okay. Games are hard. Ganun.
Yeah, tapos in-explain horse and races na parang, oh shit, games are hard talaga.
Yeah, but then I think that was her face at first, but then she got it. And then I'm like, even I was shocked. Na I I got her to turn around, diba?
Mhm. Kala ko hindi mo na siya friend eh.
No, I wouldn't be talking about
Someone not
the
your friend
person if
anymore.
yeah.
Mm.
You wouldn't hear about it.
Kala ko nung sinabi niya bakit siya magbabayad nung something nasasakit lang ulo niya. That sinabi mo, ba't ka nag-enroll sa school?
Oh no, I think someone else said that, and then she's like, because I need education, which makes sense.
Why?
She
You
won't
don't need
live
board
up in the
games?
world without me. Okay, now Willow.
Joke lang.
You don't have to prove it to her.
Hi friend. Let's play soon. You might beat me at Small World. Hindi naman ako magaling sa Small World.
Oh my gosh.
Si ano ba
I
yan?
love your
Si
reaction.
Toot.
Na-trigger ka.
Joke lang. Si Toot. Sige, chat mo sa akin, dali.
I'll just tell. Tell it to her face. No, she knows naman.
Hi. Shout out
Wait.
kay...
Now, wait. I just got another point.
Go.
Would you introduce a bluffing game to a new player? Because for me, I think if you introduce coup to someone new to board gaming, it would be very, very hard.
Okay. I have an interesting story dyan. Actually, I already thought... I taught coup to new board gamers. But it was a close group of friends and they were all competitive. And the whole time, nagtatrash talkan kami. Even if new gamers sila. Yun yung, I think, what's good about...
But they understood the bluffing mechanic.
Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
Kasi ano, it was at work. Nagtatrash talkan kami, of course, parang all guys. Kung sino mas magaling sa certain thing, I can beat you in whatever game, basketball, Mobile Legends, whatever. And then I brought in Ku. And then everyone was sitting down, tapos parang, oh, patay ka na. Tapos patay na siya. Tapos parang nagets na nila parang,
no, it's about the lion kasi.
It's a deadly game, parang gano'n.
Okay.
But it's not for everyone. I would say it's not for everyone. I've had a totally different reaction with another group naman na parang...
Yeah, that's my constant reaction eh.
Ano ba yung... Bakit ganyan? Ayoko nito. Ba't niya ako pinapatay?
You should watch Funhouse. They play coup. And most of the game is them like, am I doing it right?
Am I? Yun yung thing.
And then
cool naman.
They played with Reformation and they got better because they like the changing teams mechanic eh.
That's my favorite part
Yeah.
of the whole cool game with Reformation. It's a teams. Crazy kasi yung teams eh. Parang change na lang ng team para hindi mo kapatayin.
Oh, you should watch kasi Elise keeps doing it to mess the game up. It's so fun. Anyway. Okay. Let's conclude or summarize what we just talked about. Okay. For me, I think what I got from our talking is there are like two different categories. It's either like you're either introducing a more social game for the players who don't like to think too much, or you're introducing a more strategic type of game for players who would like to think more. And basically, for as a prime example, even though this is still very dependent on who you're showing it with, I think a prime example, if you're gonna introduce someone to board gaming, for a social game, I would highly recommend Werewords, and for a strategic game, I would highly recommend Point Salad.
Good recommendations.
How about you? Do you agree, or do you have
any
more to put?
Yeah. For me, just concluding the discussion, no. For me, you as the teacher should know why you're also teaching. Is it because you want to enjoy with your friends, or is it you want them to enjoy board games?
So you have friends.
I don't
have friends.
Parang if you're doing it to enjoy with friends, you know your friends. You should know your friends.
Diba?
It's if you don't know your friends,
if there's someone KJ.
Yeah, ganun. Alam mo yun, it's really up to you. We don't know the dynamics of your group. We don't know the dynamics of your friends, you and someone in the group or whatever. But it's still really up to you why you're gonna be teaching, how you're gonna teach it. Pero good points lahat ng sinabi namin tonight.
Do you have other examples, or do you agree with my two prime examples?
For me, I'd add ano lang. I'd add Chronicles of Crime. It's one of the kasi
That's an
yung
introductory game.
oh yeah, yes, very introductory
Interesting.
game. It's
Okay.
isipin mo, yung asawa ng brother ko doesn't really play games with us. Pero she loves like those CSI, thinking about ganyan, who killed who, whatever happened. And I remember that I bought Chronicles of Crime with Nor.
Mm-hmm.
I brought out Chronicles of Crime base. Siya yung bumili ng mga expansion sa akin dun sa app.
Oh wow.
Kasi gusto niya talaga laruin lahat. Kasi we played it, siguro we did like
My gosh.
six cases straight without doing yung parang yung may storyline na sunod-sunod. As in, 6
Now you know
independent.
what to give her sa birthday niya.
grabe. Nagulat rin actually ako na siya yung nagaya na parang when I go to her house, parang, oy, dali may yung Chronicles of Crime. Parang ako, may baby kayo parang may time ba tayo maglaro?
You should buy her Sherlock Holmes.
Feeling ko mas, well, I don't like
Or
reading,
Unlock.
so
Oh, she seems to like it.
ayan, I would add Chronicles of Crime and
But if you were to give a prime one, like if you had to choose
one.
and you don't know who's coming,
So
one or two. Like what I said, I think it's more between the social and the strategic.
Point Salad still number one. Point Salad. Or yeah, Werewords. Hindi. I
Diba?
can't.
I think
I
it's
can't
there
decide.
talaga eh. I think it's those two eh.
It's yeah.
Like imagine someone tells you, "Hey Willow, we're going to a party today. You can bring one. We can bring some of your board games, and then you don't know who's coming. Just bring Werewords. Just bring Point
Yeah.
Salad. Diba? It makes sense.
Yeah, for lalo na for new gamers. Makes sense.
Yes,
Yep.
diba? Diba? It makes sense. Okay, so recorded in 2020, because for sure, probably in like 5 years,
or next
it will
month.
change.
We'll change it.
Considering that the two games that we said came out last year, diba?
Baka maging The Crew na, malay mo, diba?
Maybe.
Well,
But it's a cooperative game though.
The Mind, argue pwede yung The Mind, pero
I think again, we're going back to, they might think that board gaming is too silly, not too serious.
well, they're all small games, so just bring
That's
all
my
of them.
Bring all.
You have,
Pull
I'm
them out.
sure
Okay,
you have
guys,
room.
ito lalaroin natin. Tapos,
I did that once, so. They enjoyed it. Sila namimili ng game. Yeah.
I'm learning more about you.
May mga examples naman ako like 3 years, 5-year board gamer na ata ako, so may mga, syempre may early years din tayo. But right now, if you tell me that you're bringing some of your friends new to gaming, I know what to bring. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay.
Scythe.
So, oh my God, can you imagine? You're in a party, tas you bring Scythe.
Yeah. Tapos set up kayo sa beer pong table. KJ sa lahat.
I don't wanna do that. My poor mix.
Hindi.
My poor wooden mint stuff.
Pero para masaya.
I don't
Drinking
think
game
so.
Scythe.
But not like in a hard party setting.
Every
That's what I
time na
was
may
thinking.
mag-bolster 3 shots.
That's like every other turn.
Kaya nga, every movement, 1 shot. Every time someone says, what does this do? You take a shot.
every time you tell someone, oh, you can't move there, there's a river, you take a shot.
And daming shots that you'll be dead.
That's the weird thing about Scythe. Like, even for me, why is it so hard to understand that there's rivers and then that it has to be a specific any way to land to the other side? It doesn't make sense. Why is that complicated?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And like get mo yung rule pero hindi mo magawa. Alam mo yun? I've broken
kasi nga it doesn't make thematic sense why it only goes to specific areas.
They should make it like clear na kunyari you can only pass here kasi bear yung kasama mo sa forest lang, something like that. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, Thank you, Willow, for coming
Thank you for
today.
having me.
Uh,
We digress to ingress.
as you can see, guys, we talk a lot talaga. Can you imagine pag hindi pa
Oo nga eh.
recorded?
Pag magkatabi sa office.
Oh, shh. Anyway, where can people reach you, Willow, if they
Oh,
wanna see you or
you guys
see
can
you?
follow Aniso in Facebook. That's ANISO, or Aniso TV. Well, that's Aniso TV in Facebook and or in YouTube. I do gameplays, challenges, vlogs, and whatever I can think of with my brothers. Um, yeah, and I also stream right now in Twitch. That's Willoway, WILLOWAY. YY, I think. Tatlo yung Y, hindi ko lang bakit. But I do I do gameplays of board game style video games. Well, mukhang nagiging ganun, pero I do a lot of games. I'm still playing whatever I wanna play. I do this for my own enjoyment. And yeah, please follow Gaming Library on Facebook. Okay, there you go. Ano ba ba?
Okay, thank you,
You can
Willow.
follow
Ay.
ano to?
Thank you, Willow.
Analyzing Abstracts, Board Gamer PH. Um,
Kakat
meron
ko
din
na 'to.
akong, bakit mo kayo kakat?
Okay, bye, Willow. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. So lastly, if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe from wherever you're listening this on, Spotify or YouTube. And if you want to leave a comment or message me, feel free to do so. Or visit my social media accounts. You can visit me anywhere, and look pagkatipunan everywhere. That's it for today's episode. So thank you for listening, guys. So yeah, about the colors. So I think burgundy came from the wine and periwinkle came from the flower. Does that mean that color is only a construct that exists to us humans and not really a visual thing? That's really what I'm thinking. Yeah.